the moment. He's coming back right now.
I just hit.
Oh, no worries. Don't worry about it. It's all good. I'll wait. I'll just go live doing this.
I can't cut it.
Oh, yeah, no worries. So beautiful Sunday morning to everybody out there in YouTube land. Thank you for checking us out here on the TRU YouTube rugby channel. It is Championship Sunday. We start off with this Division 3 matchup between Hurt Houston United rugby team going against the Austin Blacks. Glad that you could be with us. I'm the Smash Justin Simmons alongside my good friend Drew Tomsek. And Drew, there is definitely no love lost between these two sides.
No, there's definitely not. Years ago when Hurt started, they had Dennis Walker in the team, and he played with them for about 6 seasons, and now he's crossed over to the Austin Blacks team. And there's many players on that Hurt team that are looking for a lot of big hits today to take it to them.
Well, it's become a little personal, but even more so, championship on the line here this Sunday morning. We'll be with you the entire day, so we implore you to stick around. But a lot of Austin Blacks fans here already, as we are nestled in right off of the highway in Irving, Texas. Right next.
Tane Jurcevic ready to kick off. He's been changed to 10 instead of Charles Davison for the start today.
Yeah, both teams playing yesterday to get into this matchup, and being right next to pitch side, we should hear all the beautiful collisions of the game.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a lot louder out there in TV land. They go on to their second phase right there, Hurt does.
And this almost knocked on. It was knocked forward by the Austin Blacks. Talking about that, the Blacks, they are dressed in the all black with the white sleeves and the white numerals. They'll go from right to left. As for Hurt, they're dressed in the light gray with the white yoke, black shorts, black socks, going from left to right.
Be looking for the Blacks right now with this set piece to either go with Dennis Walker with a pick and go or attack with their back line. But I think with the space to the right, they're definitely going to go with Dennis Walker and attack him early.
Well, we always say the first scrum of the day will set the tone. This is our first one. Looking for a good bind. Both teams have engaged. I miss that saying sometimes.
There goes Dennis off to the number 9 to the wing. Trying to get the ball in Justin Boyd's hand.
Yes, the former Eagle, both 15 and 7s, trying to stay in play. And it looks like he was unsuccessful in doing so. That ball just offline on the pass. Had he hit him in stride, who knows what would have happened.
Yeah, no doubt. Good pressure there by Hurt on defensively, too. They came up fast and they shut it down on the outside. So it's a great start defensively for Hurt.
Well, Hurt's going to be on their toes the entire match, and that's where Austin Blacks is going to look to exploit them on the offensive end if they can get him
it's going to be a
on the outside.
There, unfortunate. There is a lot of wind today from our right to left, so you might see that ball sailing across.
Well, that is another interesting aspect that you mentioned in this game, and the other thing we should probably mention as well is the field conditions here. You know, there's some holes that are patched up, little sand, some dirt. Again, the torrential rain a couple of nights ago, so it's recovering, but it's not fully recovered just yet. And as the game wears on, and we should expect that to play a factor, not through just this match, but all the rest of the games as well.
No doubt, Justin. I'll tell you one other big difference is this field's about 10 meters wider, so there's going to be a lot more space today to work with the ball. So you'll see that ball go wide a lot more often, I do believe.
Yeah, we were just at Pioneer Stadium yesterday in Fort Worth. This penalty will go against Hurt. So Austin Blacks do have a decision to make here. They can go for the points and get on the board early. And it looks that's like exactly, well, no T's coming out. Looks like they're going to just kick for distance.
Yeah, that'd be a good 40-meter kick from that angle, so it was a little tough, and they do have the wind behind them, so that could push the ball either way. So it looks like they're just going to say, hey, let's get the line out, get the ball out, and score quick.
Well, in that final game that we had broadcasted yesterday, I mean, we saw teams taking some exorbitant chances late, trying to take the win.
Yeah, to be honest, if Alliance kicks for post 2 times yesterday, dead center, you might have a different outcome.
Exactly, we might have a different team playing here right now.
Right. be looking for Justin Boyd to insert here on the wing. I saw them in warm-ups, looping him around the outside center and crashing through, so it looks like they're possibly setting up for that right now.
And Justin Boyd doesn't need much space to work with.
No, sir, he doesn't.
Go to the front pod, and they save it.
I believe they might have knocked it on. I believe Hurt has
No advantage. So the pass was offline. Now Hurt has it back in their hands and making some meters on the go-around. Nice job on the counterattack from Henry Brown.
Yep.
So trying to set and break that line. That's something that Hurt was successful with yesterday in their previous matchup, is just keeping it close and trying to crash through.
Jerry Melkor with the crash there. The ball comes out quickly.
Trying to get this ball outside. Not much place to work with for Wally. The ruck formed is a good ruck by Houston. And this kicked up, it's coming towards us.
It was straight out though, so it's unfortunate. William Shaw tried to get it down the field. I don't know if you remember yesterday, he had that little up and under to their fullback, so he's trying to set him up again possibly, but the wind pushed it out.
That looked like that would be more of a tactic that they have taken from the Blacks playbook, especially with Justin Boyd out on that wing. They were trying to play him with those kickballs, the grubbers, and the up and unders yesterday, and they were quite successful. But Hurt trying to utilize that same tactic, just a little lacking in the execution.
Chris Crone with the throw, and it's awarded. I think they're going to go with the drive here. It looks like they're setting up for a...
And they'll maul this one. Kron has it in his hands.
Jurcevic, cut out pass.
And it's knocked on. How unfortunate for Chaffin, who had a terrific game yesterday as he scored a couple of tries, but just a little lacking on the focus this early Sunday morning in our first game here in Irving, Texas.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, if Chris was able to retain that possession, he might have slipped through. It looks like the defender bit to the outside. He could have squeaked through there, but ball just goes offline, and we're end up with a scrum down here. Hurt's ball, 15 meters out.
And we'll see what Hurt can do with their scrum, but that was a prime opportunity wasted. Kind of like in the game, or any game where you have to catch the ball, you take your eye off of it for that split second, that might cost you. And it looks like he was just looking a little too far ahead at that point in time.
Probably saw the pot of gold at the rainbow and just.
He's probably trying to think of where that make that next cut just to get in.
That was a good push by the Blacks, but Hurt retains it back. Does
Smart.
a nice clearing kick. Will it go out? That's a good clearing kick there. That gets them up to the 40, releases a lot of pressure.
Yeah, that was a good kick, good idea for Hurt. Get their backs off against the wall and reconvene and set up to try to negate the offensive attack for the Austin Blacks. Right now, they've been able to deal with the speed. Haven't had much issues there.
Yeah, the one nice thing about the Blacks is they have the 3 S's: size, speed, and support all day long. I don't know who they're going to call that knock on. They might call it on Dennis Walker. I'm not sure if the defender might have hit it first, but nope. Knock on, number 8, Dennis Walker. You know, we just haven't really seen a good pattern yet. Both teams have been getting the ball and either clearing it or knocking it on within the first or second phase. Not like that clean ball we've seen yesterday. Hopefully they'll tighten up a little bit here as the day goes on.
Well, I know both teams, very focused coming into this matchup. Everybody's staying in, no real late night. Everybody was getting prepared for this championship, but it seems that both teams are still trying to fill each other out. So we are still in the first half, no score between these two sides.
It's a good drive by the Blacks. They need to get that ball out to retain possession.
Oh,
I do believe the Blacks have won it.
Yes, he was able to jump on it, and that ball does present itself. Player was offside at the time, so this should go back to Austin Black as the scrum half was able to unload that.
I want to see what the referee's going to call here. He's going to call a penalty. That's what I thought it would be. That's a crafty scrum half right there. Zach Triplett, he knew the player was offside, and he just literally threw it right into the 8-man's face from Hurt. It's just, he saw him offside. He did it on purpose. And he just wanted the penalty to get it down the field, which is very smart on his half.
Well, that's part of the knowledge of the game, having the awareness of the situation, and it works out well here for Austin Blacks as they look to get our first points of the game. It's going to be a lineup, but those things are never a for sure deal.
No, but they've looked good so far. I think that the Blacks have had 2 and they've won 2, and Hurt is not even contesting. They didn't even put a jumper up, which makes it even easier on the Blacks. It looks like they have a drive going here. They're getting close.
Yeah, that maul formed nicely as that ball continues to recycle through. Everything's starting to break apart. Okay, the ball is still over on the right side near that try-line corner flag, and now it will come out. They swing it here toward the near side, continuing the run.
with the score.
And we have our first try of the day. Austin Blacks.
Tane Jurcevic, great score there. The forwards did the work, moved it up, sucked a couple backs in. The ball went out from Zach Triplett to Tane Jurcevic, and away he was.
Yeah, Jurcevic, he started on the sideline yesterday. Today, the first points of the game. Granted, it was a penalty that they were able to take advantage of. They had a good kick, good line out. What do you do if you're hurt, if you want to try to match their right hand with your right hand, so to speak?
I think the biggest thing I'd want to do off this kickoff is get it down the field and pin them in their half, try and keep pressure. Austin hasn't had a bunch of continuity, so if they can knock the ball in within their 22, it can help. Good take by number 4 from Hurt.
Well, that's going to work out well as it did pass the 10-meter mark, and now it's just about trying to get the crashes. And look at that. He's like, that's all you got. What a hit by Chris Reed.
Chris Reed, crunching hit. I mean, Hurt won the kickoff, and they've lost 12 meters. They have not moved forward. There goes Blocker, Jason Blocker on the run.
Yeah, Blocker trying to spin through the would-be tacklers, but he's brought down easily. And no room to go there for Brady Racine. And the ball is out. Oh.
But it's going to be a knock forward by Hurt there from Brady Racine in the set. Good counter ruck by the Blacks. Try to get that ball away from him.
Rafael Casas very lucky he didn't take a boot to the face. As Visser was trying to make the clearance. Almost took him out. We do have this scrum coming down.
Right now, the ball Blacks, I think they're going to go to their back line. There's not a lot of space out there for Dennis to move. I believe the Blacks
well,
go through their back 3.
The footing on this part of the pitch, though, a little patchy, some sand here as well, so we want to watch this scrum closely. And you can see it's already binding in the middle. It's already starting to bend upward. 8-man pick.
Dennis Walker on the break. He's gained about 20 meters.
And Dennis Walker just rampaging all over the would-be Hurt defense. The offload, good hands as they continue the run.
Finally, got him overloaded to the right.
And they're going to look to Spring Boyd. They might not even need him here. They do not. Second try of the day for Austin Blacks. Boyd proving a nice decoy.
I believe that might have been number 11, Enrique Visser, with the score. And that brings the score to 12-0 at this point in time.
12-0 here in the first half of play. Division III championship on this championship Sunday. Again, thank you for joining us here on the TRU YouTube channel.
Yeah, that was set up there by Dennis's pick and go. He gained about 20 meters. He offloads to Dave Comfort, and then they moved the ball from Tane to the outside, weak side winger actually inserted there, Enrique Visser, I believe. He dots it down for the score in the corner. This is a rough kick here, though.
Well, you had mentioned Walker, his prowess, and how Hurt might be not so welcoming of playing against him here, but right now it doesn't seem to faze him a bit. As he was able to run right through him. This kick offline, so the score will stay at 12-0.
I don't think Dennis really gets worried about it. He's been playing many years. You know, he's a over 35 Eagle for the last 2 or 3 years. I believe he was the man in the tournament this year overseas when they beat South Africa. So.
And you can easily see why with ability to run like that, just fending off would-be tacklers.
Yeah, you're 6'2", 240, and you run in the 4s. You're a load to deal with.
Oh, 12 now.
Here goes the re-kick for Hurt. We're probably right around 13 minutes in, if I had to guess.
Well, Hurt.
Maybe an offside call there.
They've had some great kickoffs. That was knocked forward, and it's going to be recovered. O'Hare.
See if they could do something offensively, though. The Blacks have their defense set up. Nice quick snap up, pick and go.
And just picking and going. That's what
There's no
got
to
him.
the right here if they can get it out.
Oh, and he could have made one more pass there. Could have Price. Instead, he'll just go right into the contact, and the pick and go not working. as he was just trying to shovel it out quickly. Knock on played though.
Yeah, blue scrub down Austin.
So pretty much exactly what happened last go around, where Hurt was able to get the ball right back off of the kickoff, but then a penalty, or a knock-on in this case, led to a scrum where Austin Blacks was very successful. Walker getting the big run, and they ended up scoring.
And they're getting great restarts after kickoff, but they can't seem to do anything with it just yet. They called a knock-on on Hurt.
Well, this ball will roll all the way out. Samoilenko able to get outside, and this guy's through. Whaley gets the offload. This could be the first try of the day for Hurt.
I believe that's blocker.
And they are able to score, and now, my friends, we have ourselves a contest as Hurt responds with their first try after a tantalizing run, able to utilize the numbers game on the outside. They're the team that worked the overload first.
It was a great support line by Jason Blocker, but if you see him right now, he looks like he's limping a little bit with his right leg. Let's hope there's nothing to it other than the small cramp.
Yeah, both of these teams coming in after playing games yesterday, a little banged up, but again, Championship Sunday, back-to-back. That's what makes this game so much more different. The physicality, and then having to get up and lace them up again to go back to battle. This kick, though, important, and we saw how important kicks were yesterday. Points were definitely at a premium in our last couple of matches that we had for you.
William Shaw's taking the kick right now. He's got a great angle on it. See how it goes.
And Shaw able to get it through. So this game now 12-7. Hurt finally getting on the board and getting the conversion as well after the try. So very successful.
And you know, Hurt has got a knack for scoring when the ball is just dirty. You know, the ball is bouncing around. It's not off a set piece, and they get the ball and they move it quickly, and a guy just cuts through, and supporters are there on his hip. Jason Blocker was right on his hip, and it was a great score from about 20 meters out.
Yeah, Wally really helps bringing that through. Perfect offload pass as well, and then they have the numbers. Austin Blacks is looking to respond as they get ready for this drop. Now, what does Hurt have to do to try to take the lead now that they're not playing on the back foot here?
They just have to get some phases together. I don't think they've put 3 phases together yet. I think it's all been knock-ons or kicks. So if they could get some ball in hand and be some good go forward, it could make a big difference in the game.
Well, 2 phases in so far with this possession. And it was 4 versus 4 there as Crafton goes to ground. This ball on the far side of the pitch, and now trying to work its way back towards us. But we do have a stoppage in play. It looks like it's a knock-on, and this should be Austin Black's scrum.
It's just they can't get their continuity going just yet. Like I said, in the loose, they're wonders with the ball, but set pieces, they just haven't been able to strung more than 3 phases together. Yeah,
both teams still trying to find that rhythm, so to speak, early on in this contest. Still in the first half of play. It's now 12-7 if you just tuned in with us here on the TRU Rugby channel here on YouTube. Again, thank you for stopping by on this Sunday, as we will determine our first champion of the day. Again, this scrum to Austin Blacks.
Yeah, Austin's backline has a ton of space here, and they have depth. Be looking for that ball to come out fast, I would think. And in the back to the side, you see Justin Boyd just somewhat lurking, looking for a hole to exploit.
Yeah, he is just sitting right in the pocket. Has a couple of runners tucked with him too, so.
The weak side winger from Hurt has not come across to match him, so they have an automatic overload if they could get the ball out.
No, that is not going to be the case. Give credit to Hurt for being able to blow up that scrum and get possession back. That's going to work out really well. Let's see where they can do with this kick, though.
Yes, sir. What was that for?
Boring. Haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah, so obviously the prop from the Blacks is turning his body somewhat and clamping down on the hooker so he can't hook at it, so they called a boring in penalty there.
But that's something that we've noticed in the ruck, or at least I've noticed, is that while it's binding, It hasn't been a straight push. It's been bowing up. And that's a great catch off of the end of the line out.
Yeah, Brady Racine, not a great line out, but they retain possession and they're moving on to their second phase. There's a nice pick and go.
And you talk about that dirty ball. They're just picking it up and going as it continues to bounce around out of the rock. And this is what brought Hurt to the dance, just keeping it close. Now trying to work this ball outside.
William Shaw.
Here's Raphael, who spins off of one would-be tackler with the fend, able to bounce off another as he's finally taken to ground. Ball's now released.
Justin Blocker on the run again. About the third or fourth time he's touched the ball today already. Having another big day.
Brown still trying to pull through. He's wrapped up from behind by Cron. And now they give it to their big man in Shaneki.
There's a penalty there for offsides.
And O'Hare, as he goes to ground, this is going to back up Austin Black. So you have to wonder, is this a penalty situation where you're going to go for this conversion here?
I would think you have to take the points if we saw anything.
Well, it's not a for sure thing, but here comes the kicking tee.
Yeah, they're already out there with the tee. Dead center post. You get within 2 points and you just keep hanging around, and that's really what you want.
Well, William Shaw was successful on the conversion after the try, so he definitely does have the ability.
The Austin Blacks are coming up so hard and so fast that it looks like Hurt is going to dummy the ball sometimes and try and slip behind the defenders coming up so hard. It's good strike.
And it's good.
It's 12-10 right now.
Yeah, look good, was good, and those 3 points bring it to a 2-point match. Austin Blacks, thanks to their 2 tries and their 1 conversion, still with the lead, but it's not by much.
Yeah, and I have an unofficial time of about 21 minutes in. That is unofficial, so I guess maybe they're not going to be taking the water break today because it's going match after match after match, so maybe they're going the full 40.
Well, it will be a little hotter here today than it was yesterday. However, it's not as hot on the pitch just because this is a natural playing surface as opposed to the synthetic that we were playing on Pioneer Stadium yesterday. This ball is loose, Hurt able to drop back on it, but this could be really dangerous if they cannot get this ball out from deep. Instead of trying to kick it, they will try to blow it up forward. Blocker going into the contact first. Now with some space.
And that's a good clearing kick by Henry Brown. Brings him up to almost the 40-meter line.
Austin Blacks will have the throw. This is a good opportunity for Austin now. So close to the try line.
Yeah, and they've been good in their lineouts. Chris Crone has put the ball on the mark, and the last 2 times, Hurt has not even sent a jumper up, so it's pretty easy to win your ball when you're not having anybody challenge you.
Well, Austin Blacks does have these very intricate lineouts, and it works out well as they went from far side to near side quickly. Picking it up off of the volley. The passing will continue. Going into contact, and he is brought down hard.
Wow, the Blacks are sending all their players to more than on the halfway side of the field. They have the right side just loaded. There is not one single player on the halfway point of the field to the left.
And let's see if Hurt will make the adjustments. Right now there's Walker. He goes right into the fray, and the ball comes loose, but it's still going to stay with Austin. Good pass here to the outside. Now they have likely what they were looking for in Visser. Will score the try on the very edge over the goal line, but Visser getting exactly what he was looking for with that room.
So the Blacks move their whole team to the right half of the field. Obviously, Hurt's got to match the numbers, and then they put their burner on the outside, Visser, and Tane Jurcevic just moves the ball beautifully, and Visser's got an easy run to the corner.
And
well played.
Utilizing some decoy tactics, really confusing the defensive setup for Hurt. And you can see him smiling here on the near side as he makes his walk through, chatting with some of the fans up here. It was a good run. It's now 17-10. But this is a difficult kick to try to convert here, as Sullivan, he is right-footed, so Lisa will be swinging inward for him. But that wind also blowing inward as well. Have a minute to kick. And it comes off of the tee, so the referee's going to tell him he has to use this.
But that does take away from his time to reset, so he's got to be picking up his pace.
Or he's seen one game come down to a ball coming off of a tee, the referee saying he had to use it, and the player had to reset.
That's a good strike, but just not enough leg there to get there.
Well, especially after having to reset after the ball fell off the tee, but only one conversion made out of the 3 attempted so far for Austin Blacks, and it's only a 17-10 game as we're about past that midway point here in the first half of play. But Hurt not backing down and stepping up to the challenge.
Now they're still within a converted try, and that's where you want to be. You want to still be within range as the game goes on.
And this phase of the game for Hurt, this is something that they've been rather good at, is the restart on the drop. They've been able to get the last 2 back in their hands.
They've retained possession both times, and I'm sure they're looking to do it again here. Put the ball between.
Yeah, it looks like the Austin Blacks are going to be more conscientious of trying to retain possession or secure possession here.
That's going to be a penalty there.
So it's a penalty to Austin.
Yeah, and it might be a card. He took the player out of the air. We're going to see Dennis Walker with a great rumbling run, but he did knock the ball on. But we're going to see what happens here. Just a penalty.
So we come back and we'll play the player knocked out of the air penalty. So essentially what started us off. And you saw the player for Hurt. He was just like, oh, it was my bad. Instantaneously, he knew what happened.
Yeah, it's tough. You're going up to play the ball, and you leave your feet, and
collisions happen.
Collisions happen. If you don't win the ball, then you know you're probably going to get a penalty. I'll tell you what, though, that kick there did not really help that much for the Blacks. It only gained them about 10 meters, so not that big of a difference right there. So we'll see what happens off the Blacks line out. The last 3 rounds they have, the last 3 rounds they've won. That is one area of the game they have been winning on a regular basis so far. And they're right here in front of us.
It's a great look here. They're going to say that was within the channel. And penalty against Hurt.
Yeah, that's going to be offside by number 6, Brady Racine. The ball wasn't tapped yet, and he was already almost to the scrum half. He was just a little too early. Much better kick there for Austin Blacks. They're down around the 23-meter line.
Well, we see Tommy Locke there for Hurt, trying to get that calf stretched out. Have to wonder if that's going to play a factor in this contest as well. We had those rainy days. It was humid yesterday. The sunshine's supposed to be out in full force this afternoon. About 85-degree high is set here with no clouds in the sky.
Looks like the Blacks are going to consolidate a little bit and try and put a drive on, which they are moving forward.
Well, they were successful with the maul last time. Cron has the ball. He's still with possession. Finally, that maul breaks off. And he is tackled right about the 5-meter mark. A little bit closer from here now.
Zach Triplett getting ready to send the ball. Goes to Dave Pena. He was crash.
Met hard by Henry Brown. This ball coming out quickly as they look to get it outside. And it falls right into the awaiting hands of Charles Davidson. Still not done just yet, and a smart play there as he took him right into touch.
That's good defense there from Hurt. You know, they're on the back foot, and they're getting driven in a maul, and the ball goes out. If it's a clean ball, it could go a different way, but they were lucky there to come up hard on defense and be able to drag Justin Boyd into touch.
Well, actually, that was Davidson. Boyd hasn't really had much touches in this contest.
go wide against their number 11, Enrique Visser.
It looked like he had dropped it before he got over the line, but they're going to say he was able to touch it down still. And that should add to the Blacks' lead now, as you can tack on another 5.
22-10 at about 30 minutes in, I believe. And now we could see the Blacks are just starting to get into their set pieces and being able to run phases over and over. And it seems like Hurt might be starting to tire down a little bit. They had a very rough game yesterday. You know, the Blacks subbed a lot of guys out at about 40, 45, 50 minutes in. At one point yesterday, I believe they subbed 4 starters out at one time.
It was Grand Prairie put up a good fight, but it ended up being a rather comfortable contest for Austin Blacks. And like you mentioned, pretty much exactly what happened. They had their starting 15, and then most of that 15 replaced in the second half, so they had a chance to breathe. Again, the kick off the mark, and the score will stay at 22-10, but the tries have been coming fruitfully for Austin Blacks now.
And they are attacking the outside. Very few have been through the center. They obviously they're going to say, hey, we're going to go wide on this team, and you're going to have to try and stop us. And I don't think Hurt has gotten an answer just yet for it.
They just need something to go their way. The last 2 scores, it was just because the ball kind of bounced into their hand on the go-around, on the counterattack, and they were able to take advantage of the quick change in direction.
You know, the Austin Blacks are going for something historical here. I don't think at any point in time in USA Rugby, let alone Texas, has put a team in the championships for Division 1, 2, and 3. And, if they could put this third team in, then this match that's coming up later on today, that's going to make a historical moment for the Austin Blacks.
Well, I mean, this third side, lots of talent. Great catch there by Hernandez.
Yeah, great cut in step. Tane gets the ball, puts a boot to it, and there's nobody back there for Hurt.
No, and the speed of Justin Boyd, he was just making up meters so quickly. Really forced Hurt to try to get right back, but it looks like offside going to be the call.
Yeah, but it's a penalty to Hurt, so that's very fortunate for them.
Yeah,
I guess there was a runner going down the field before he kicked the ball, so they're bringing it all the way back. And
not every day I see offensive offsides called.
you know, Justin Boyd might have seen that kick getting ready to come, and he thought, hey, I'm going to get a good run on it, might get it to scoop it up and score, and he might have just been a little in front of the kicker.
He's been a little quiet here in this contest right now. Came off the bench yesterday and put his mark on the game rather quickly.
3 touches, 3 tries in about 10 minutes. That's a pretty good mark.
Well, when you have the talent like he does and the natural ability, don't get me wrong, he puts in the hard work as well, but can't teach speed. You can help improve it, but you can't just teach it.
Teach speed. I was talking to him before the game, and I asked, you know, for those that don't know, he lives in San Diego, and I was like, man, what are you doing playing here? He's like, I'm just really excited to play with a bunch of my college teammates again. He wasn't playing rugby at this time. Lo and behold, this is his 4th game now, I believe, with the Blacks, and I'd say they're doing pretty well.
Yeah, I'm sure they're pretty happy with him coming in and, you know, adding another dimension to their offensive attack. That's really already opponent at this Division III level. The penalty going for Hurt, so they're going to try to kick this.
It's a beautiful kick. Gets into a 5.
It should turn into a 5-meter line out here.
Well, maybe not.
Did it travel too far?
I guess it traveled out the back. So it's going to be a 22 drop. And the Blacks go quick.
And
Comfort.
Comfort
Sorry.
able to utilize the penalty restart, and they made up a lot of meters as they're almost here toward the halfway line now. Now passed over the halfway line just about as he tried to crash right through the forward row, and Hurt denying them right there at the halfway line. A little up, a little under. And Justin Boyd almost was able to get his hands on it. Instead, it was ripped away.
Here comes Hurt's speedster, Franklin. He offloads. There's an unfortunate forward pass.
Trying to get creative there. I did like the idea, but Again, a little forward there with that underhanded one-hand pass.
You know, Franklin's got speed, as does Boyd, and I think he should have put the pedal to the metal and just kept it in hand to see what he could get. But he decided to go to his wing, and just unfortunately the ball floated on him.
Well, right now, again, the score is 22-10. Hurt behind. Trying not to make it up all at once. They can't do that, so just trying to keep possession is Hurt. But right now, faltering a little bit with the ball in hand.
You know, the difference between today and yesterday is every time Hurt got within the 22, they seemed to come away with points, and today they've been down there twice, and twice they haven't come away with points.
Blacks able to win that easily. There was the fake dummy pass, and now the offload. And once again, it's in the hands of Visser.
Is that a hat trick for Visser right there?
Yes, it is. That's his third try of the game. After some crafty passing here on the sideline, Jerovic, really the catalyst for that.
Oh, they might have called a forward pass, possibly.
Okay, we'll have to come back and see. That would negate the try if that's the case.
Yep, that is a call forward pass from the AR.
So how lucky for Hurt.
I mean, it does help things when it's a go-away try. It was a great dummy pass by Jurcevic, and he offloaded to Comerford, and I guess the ball floated.
Well, you never know with this wind. It is slightly pushing to where it could have made it a forward pass for Austin Blacks as they're going with the wind at their back.
Justin, do you think they'll put it to the boot, or do you think they'll try and run it out from down here?
Well, smart play is to go ahead and just kick for some distance here and try to put some space between them and the back of their try line, but you just really don't know with Hurt right now. They might be a little desperate trying to make it all back up at once.
And that's a big push by the Blacks.
And that was the worst thing that could have possibly happened. It's a scoop, and it's a score for Miles Hernandez.
Yeah, Seth Saunders picked the ball up initially, and then he offloaded to Hernandez for the try. That was a great power scrum by the Blacks. They just pushed him straight back. And the 8-man for Hurt, trying to keep the ball, just went off his foot wrong, and the ball popped out, and away goes the Blacks.
Well, you were talking to me about what exactly Hurt was going to do. I guess the first thing should have been secure possession of the ball. Instead, that Blacks scrum, that pack, able to wheel everything around, really had Hurt off kilter, and then it was just great awareness. Saunders to Hernandez for the score.
And once again, Pat Sullivan kicking. This has probably been the third kick that's been on the 5-meter line or further out, so they haven't been centering them today, but at least they're getting points on the board. But it makes it tough on a kicker when everyone's a 40-meter kick.
Sometimes it makes me wonder if his teammates are just trying to give him a hard time here.
It's a good strike, though.
No, just a little wide right once again. So it is 27-10, though, in favor of Austin Blacks.
Unofficially, I have about 2 minutes till half. I'm not exactly sure what the referee has, but
so we know more or less we are in the final moments of this first half, and it had been a very exciting contest to get us started. Both teams really were looking to fill each other out, but now the Blacks, well, to be a little cliche here, they put the pedal to the metal in this second part of the first half.
yeah, I think their fitness is going to start carrying them through, and their playmakers, they have so many of them on this team.
Coming away with the ball, that's Hernandez, who just finished scoring, able to go into a 2-man contact and gets that ruck started and formed. This ball worked out to the outside, and the referee's going to call us knock on here. And this will be a scrum down for Hurt.
They have a good attacking platform. They're inside the 40-meter line attacking, so I'd look for Hurt to do something here with the ball.
And well, Hurt will definitely need to do something, have to do it quickly. There only has to be a couple of minutes remaining in this first half of play. So if they get into a good situation, we might see them take a kick if they can get a penalty somewhere within that 22-meter range and try to go for points to end the half on a positive note. If not, they're going to have to go into halftime and make some readjustments.
want to see how the scrum looks. You know, last scrum, the Blacks were able to drive it straight back. We'll see what happens here if they can solidify.
And that's exactly what happens. They were driven back.
Oh, good dummy pass.
Wally able just to shake and bake his way through the defenders and then finally brought down. This is a good opportunity. Melkor. Pass to the outside. They have to be precise with the handling. And talking about precision, that was a terrific open field tackle for Austin Blacks and Dave Comerfield.
They went wide with the ball and ended up losing almost 15 meters.
They lost meters but didn't lose possession. That's what's important right now for Hurt. And the ball pops loose as Melkor lets it go on the opposite side. Walker gets it right into the hands of his teammate, who is able to shake right through. Farrell, he continues his run as he just pushes through, fends people off.
Zach Triplett's on the ball quick, and he's got a whole back line out there waiting on it. Gonna call a knock on there.
Austin Black fans that are here in attendance not happy with that call. The rugby community growing in Texas, but still a tight-knit one at that.
Yes, we get to hear the murmurs around us of everybody telling us what the correct call was, but you know what, there's only one
Well, the
person
thing is
matters.
that the one in the middle, but the thing is that you know these guys, you probably played against these guys at one point or another, so it is a tight-knit community, that's for sure. Referees, players, and spectators.
I understand it's a knock-on, but the last two scrums, the Blacks have just pushed them over, and there's a good drive going on right now again.
Good offload there. Trying to stay in play. Rafael, he now has possession. And Casas, able to go to ground.
Here comes Blocker with a run. Needs to get support with him though. There they are.
And there's that ruck form. The line is set defensively. Able to fend one. Huge fend. Oh, Goss going down, and he might want to try to get the next one. Trying to get this ball to the outside. Cut and stop. Broke his ankles. And then he is dragged all the way back toward the halfway line. Well, Hurt's going in a direction. Unfortunately, it's going backwards with possession.
Yeah, the Austin Blacks are just coming up so hard at this point. Their players are on the ball. Every ruck, they're slowing that ball down so Hurt can't get it out quickly.
Good tackle there for Austin Blacks. Racine, he is smacked by Chris Reed. But still with possession, the phases continue here. This is phase number 9 now. And it was tipped forward and knocked on. So despite that, it would have remained Hurt's ball. But now it seems that we'll be going into halftime. Our score line, 27-10 at the half. And Drew, if I can, well, actually, no, I'll take that back. I thought that was going to be half, but instead.
So did I. It seemed like he blew a halftime whistle, but he's come back. I think he's going to give him a scrum. That's because there's a penalty, that's why. So an AR must have seen something happen there.
Possibly coming from the AR on the far side. This ball put into the stratosphere. Will it go out of play? No, and Justin Boyd catches it. Spins on that touchline and able to offload it nicely. The ball still in play.
This could be trouble for Hurt right here. They have a back line and there's no defenders out there. They have one defender against 5. They send that ball.
And it looks like the Blacks have already highlighted the disadvantage. Penalty called. Looks like it was like hands in the ruck, or at least entering from the side.
There was a distinct advantage. If they get that ball wide, they literally had the number 8 of Hurt.
Well,
Alvy Price against the whole team.
Well, the referee talking to Rafael Casas for a lengthy amount of time. Austin Blacks, they will kick for touch.
And that is a beautiful kick.
A terrific kick there.
Gets him down to about the 23-meter line in an attacking position with almost no time left till the halftime whistle.
Just a shade short of the 22, working their way toward the goal line, our Austin Blacks. And this is all because we thought it was going to be halftime.
And I would watch out for Dennis Walker. I haven't seen him out there in the back line very much, but he's sitting there at that inside center channel. And if he gets a load of speed, he's going to be a hard person to bring down.
This ball getting worked out wide. You mentioned Walker. There he is. Gets one guy off of him. Then he's brought down with a good tackle there by Casas there from behind.
Great dummy move by Tane Jurcevic. He goes forward again. He was the first scorer on the day with that same move.
Oh, and it's knocked down by Austin Blacks, and you can see the disappointment in the face of Boyd because he was the last man on the line, and that, my friends, will take us to halftime. 27-10 our score. Austin Black scoring first, but Hurt responding nicely as they were able to get a try conversion and then were able to take the penalty. They were only down by 2 at that point. It was 12-10, but then after that, it's been all Austin Blacks.
Yeah, it's been all Austin Blacks, and they've been in the half, been in Hurt's half for at least 20 minutes straight. And they're just keeping them pinned and keeping the pressure on them, and that's what good teams do. I think fatigue might be setting in for the Hurt team. They had a battle yesterday against the Lions that went down to the wire, whereas the Blacks kind of were able to sub a bunch of guys out at halftime, so that does make a difference on the second day, Championship Day rugby.
Well, Championship Sunday, one more half to go. We're going to take a quick break here in halftime. We'll be back for that start of that second half on the TRU YouTube Rugby channel. So welcome back. We are here in Irving, Texas, right across the street from the University of Dallas. In fact, this is actually their home pitch as we get ready for the start of the second half. Hurt going from right to left here, dressed in those light gray, black numerals, white yokes with the black shorts. Austin Blacks with the all black kits, white sleeves, white numerals going from left to right. It is Austin Blacks with the lead, 27-10. If you just tuned in with us, Justin Simmons, the smash alongside Drew Tomczak. And Drew, Hurt has a lot of questions that they're looking to answer here in the second half, but they do have one thing working for them. They do have the wind at their back.
They do, and they do have the restarts. They've won 3 out of the 4 restarts so far in this match. So if they can retain this one and get on the front foot, get a score early, that can make a difference. Knocked forward by the Blacks, I do believe.
And that's exactly how it plays out. So Hurt now with an opportunity to get the ball and try to make something out of this, and they do get a terrific run, but it looks like he is taken into touch.
Yeah, Racine just took the ball and went a little too wide and got carried out of bounds.
Or a little closer to it, because if you're talking that way, they can't hear you.
So they're first going to call the knock on by the Blacks. Come back for a scrum to Hurt. At the end of the first half, the Blacks scrum was starting to take over, so we'll see if they can solidify a little bit. The Hurt pack can solidify a little bit and get the ball to their back line.
Let's see if it is possible for Hurt. Get it to William Shaw here on the outside. He does have some great speed. So he is standing over here on the near side.
Ball goes out to Henry Brown. He moves the ball long. Good crash line. Oh, I thought he was going to bust through the center there. Good tackle. Good open field tackle.
Phase number 2 now as they get it into the hands of Franklin.
Yeah, that's their speedster.
He is held up. Shaw there to try to help push this through.
They've called it a maul now, so the Blacks are just going to stay the ball and just hold it down and pin it in there. Oh, the ball comes out, though.
And it works out very well for Hurt as it came out on their side, going into the fray. Melkor taken down and pushed back. Hurt, though, just trying to keep this ball recycled.
Brady Racine again with the ball, and it looks like he may have knocked it forward.
And it's turned over. It takes a weird bounce, and it goes right into the arms of Hurt.
So we're going to come back for a scrum down, the Blacks on the 50-meter line, knocked forward by Racine.
So they're going to come back, and they're going to play and call the original knock on Racine, who was on the ground. And this will be the scrum to Blacks as they do once again hold the 27-10 lead.
Being in this part of the field right here and having all that space, I'd be looking for Dennis Walker to pick and go to Justin Boyd on this sideline. There's just so much space here and so much speed and power. I'd be shocked if he doesn't take it and offload. And you could see the angle. You could see Justin looking at this angle right now thinking, if he gets the ball in his hand, he's going to go the distance.
Well, he would like to go eagle to eagle here. Here's the pick, and it's going to be a quick shovel. And Boyd was calling for it, and that kick just way too much power.
Yeah, it's going to be a straight-out kick and come back, but the play was there. Dennis did his job. He got the ball out to Zach Triplett. They should have did a miss pass or cut-out pass to Boyd, but puts it on the foot, and unfortunate, just carried in the wind.
Yeah, Boyd was really hoping to get sprung free there. You mentioned it before. He was just sitting. He was eyeing it the whole time. He knew that could have been a strong possibility for his first try of this contest.
We have a sub in for the Blacks. Blake Rogers comes in for David Goss.
So did they call the first knock, essentially, from what we saw on Austin Black? So this scrum should go to Hurt.
The last scrum at the very beginning of this half for Hurt actually looked very, very tight, and they won possession. There wasn't a big push by the Blacks. Let's see if they can keep it going that way and get the ball to their 10, Henry Brown.
Samoilenko will feed in, and again, it has been the continuous problem here.
That's the second time we've had that call for boring in. The props kicking out a little bit at an angle and clamping down on the driving sideways.
You can see the props talking to each other here. Cron, the hooker, talking with David Pena, It's going to be kicked here toward the near side, and we will have a line out ahead for Hertz.
Hey.
No. You don't sit on that. All right.
Get the ball back.
As they said play on.
Austin Blacks with possession, trying to add to their lead here in the second half of play past the midway line. And here's some speed of David Walker. Walker just right up the middle. Franklin trying to stop him. Walker spins him off. Justin Boyd gets it on the recovery. Boyd trying to offload it, and it's intercepted.
So the question is, did he run out of the back? Will it be a 22, or did he touch it down in the try zone in a 5-meter scrum?
Trying to see. Looks like we're going to have a scrum as the referee's punching his mark. And this is on the far opposite side of the pitch. It will be Black's ball. We almost saw the Blacks get their first score of the second half of play, and those would have been our first points of the second half. It's going to be fed in.
Looks like they're going to possibly go to Dave Comfort directly. He is in front of the number 10, Tane Jurcevic. Looks like they might feed to him just to crash a simple line and then spin it wide.
Austin Blacks has had some issues with the last couple of scrums, though. That boring in. Then again, that's been them on the defensive end of the scrums. Let's see what they do as the feeder team. And again, referee not happy. We have had our issues this morning trying to get the scrums going.
Let's hope the third time's a charm. I can't see him resetting one more time. He's going to have to give a penalty one way or a quick tap the other.
Well, it went in and it went out. It doesn't look like you can do that.
Straight in and straight out. No hooker got a strike on it, so they will reset and go again. Seems as if, at least looks like Hurt has solidified its scrums. They're looking a lot better than they were in the first half. They've come away with one penalty and 1-2 their balls off the head.
And the ball just sitting there. Nobody really taking a hook at it. And now it's picked up by Walker as he tries to just spin inside to the try zone. Ball is out. Racevic able to make the dummy and shimmy off the tackler for the score. What a terrific run that was.
Yeah, that was a movement they've had planned. Dennis picked the ball. I was wondering why Dave Comfort was standing in front of the fly half. It's because he was just going to be there for the initial support to get the ball out for that second phase. So they had a 2-phase pattern on there, and they were ready to go from the beginning. It was just a called play, and they ran it to perfection.
Yeah, Jurcevic really did the rest there. And Austin Blacks able to add to their lead. 32-10 now, our score. And again, kicks, even despite being this close, have not been a for sure conversion.
Yeah, but it's a whole lot better than being on the touchline like it's been for most of the day.
But we even saw in yesterday's games, just because you're this close, it was not a gimme necessarily. We've seen some interesting things happen with these kicks. And again, with the pitch the way it is here today, you just never really know. This one up, and this time, though, the flags will go up. It is good.
Let's go, me.
So add an additional 2, and it's now 34-10 favor Austin Blacks.
You can see the Austin Blacks have brought some subs in. They brought in Meat. Connolly McKay has checked into the game. I believe he's coming in possibly for Dennis Walker for the 8-man position.
Still,
like I said earlier, they brought in Blake Rogers at the lock position. They just have so much depth, the Blacks do.
Well, there's still plenty of time here in the second half for her to make a miraculous comeback. But right now, time, numbers working against them right now, and they just need a positive spark here in this second half of play. They do give them credit, though. They have been able to keep Justin Boyd off the try score line.
It's Good take by the Blacks there, and they retain possession. They're going to move the ball out, seems, to their forwards.
Hernandez able to secure possession as he went to ground. And now they're going to kick this long. And Boyd opening up the pace now.
Yeah, that ball's going to stay in play. Let's see what the fullback for Hurt does with it.
And it's going to be sent right back over the
That's
midway
gonna be a
line.
penalty right there. He's playing the man off sides. That's going to be a card. Brady Racine did not retreat, did not go back. I can't see him not getting a yellow card for that at this point.
Well, I understand what Racine did, but Harrison Farrell very unclassy there by throwing the ball at Racine. And I think he has to be fortunate that the referee didn't see that lack of sportsmanship. I understand that tempers are heightened, but that was uncalled for. If anything, I would have felt that that was a smart foul. You take the card maybe, but that does negate the counterattack very quickly.
Yeah, I mean they had guys coming for the counterattack and coming up hard. Yeah, he's going to get the ball there, or the penalty there, or the penalty up, I believe, is the option. And he's going to take the penalty up, where they kicked it from.
Definitely a smart move for Austin Blacks.
Looks like they have a sub coming on right now. Number 5 going off for Houston. Tommy Law.
Unless it was offsides on him on the kick. Well, he was offsides on the kick. I don't know, man.
So I'll have this scrum down for Austin Blacks after the penalty.
Yeah, and I think I just saw Justin pointing at Dennis, telling him, hey, same play as last time. This time, get me the ball. Because there is a lot of open space to the right side there.
Well, it's him one-on-one with Franklin right now. If they can get this ball out and get it to him here on the near side. Instead, they will elect to utilize the width of the pitch and in and out, and it's kicked well by Hurt. Now it's just a pure foot race to the loose ball.
That's Justin Blocker with a nice chip through and a tackle in the open field. Can they retain possession is the question for the Blacks.
Visser able to chase it down for Austin Blacks, and now they have possession again as they have to work their way past the midway point. As they do have the 34-10 lead here in the second half of play. This ball getting muddled over on the far side of the pitch. And now Austin Blacks settling into their attack. Just keeping it close before they elect to try to pop it wide.
That's Connolly McKay with the crash there.
And this will be sent up and over. And we'll have a scrum for Austin Blacks off of the penalty. So even kicking away, Austin Blacks will still have possession. That's just kind of how it's been after they were able to absorb the initial attack from Hurt. It's been all Austin Blacks in this contest ever since.
Yeah, they've kept their foot on the pedal, and they're keeping the pressure on nonstop.
Well, you have to excuse me, it didn't turn out to be a scrum. Instead, they just ended up playing the penalty. Austin still deciding to go for kick and distance, and they'll have a lineup from a much better area now. Just a little short of the 22.
Once again, they got Dennis Walker sitting in the center position. Look for him to set the platform, take the crash, cut it up, and then spin the ball wide to Boyd. Or Visser has been inserting all day long, too.
Yeah, Visser has been able to be on both sides of the field all day.
That's a not straight call right there. It'll be line out Hurt.
So Hurt will now have a chance to put the ball down the channel. See if they can get something going offensively. They tipped it, but unfortunately it's recovered by Austin Blacks. Triplet able to secure it first. And here comes Walker as he just runs right through the middle of the fray.
Yeah, I believe the referee's going to give a card there. They're probably going to go in for a score if he doesn't slow that ball down. It might just be a penalty, but they've been stacking the penalties up for the last 10 minutes.
Ooh, met hard there right at contact. We could hear it from up here. Referee once again stopping play.
Yeah, that was a knock forward in the tackle. Good defense for Hurt.
Answering the call right at the doorstep and negating a possible try scoring opportunity. That does have to frustrate Austin Blacks, though. That's something that you can really, if you're a Hurts fan, Hurt player, you can really hang your hat on today, is that even when times have been tough, the effort's definitely been there.
Yeah, they're coming up hard. They're making their tackles. They haven't been able to retain possession and go through their pattern or phases very much. The scores they have been off loose plays, busted plays. That's a big score. And right here, they'll have a scrum, and the Blacks have been having great scrums all day. It looks like Hurt will win this and clear it out.
It's not the best of kicks, though, as it's taking an odd turn, and it's bouncing back towards the try line. It's picked up right in the hands of Comerfield as he is brought down very quickly. The ruck does form, though. And again, another stoppage in play here.
Yeah, they're calling an elbow to the face as he was running. They're saying he hit the player with an elbow. Connolly McKay had the call against him.
So for the casual rugby viewer out there, or this may be your first time, you could get away with a lot in this game, and it's a very physical game, but no elbows.
You cannot contact the face with an elbow.
This is a good kick, though, as he's able to get it right out on the fly. This will be a line out coming up for Hurts. Hurt going from right to left. Austin Blacks going from left to right. A couple of more alterations being made for both sides.
Yeah, the fly half going off for Hurt. Henry Brown bringing in a reserve right now. He's had a good game so far. And the Blacks are bringing in a large prop forward. Haven't got a number yet.
Off the line out. Awkward throw. It was kept.
It's been multiple penalties. There was the elbow. There was a high tackle earlier. So
it's been the boring.
Yeah, so if you get multiple penalties in a row for somewhat the same thing, he's probably just he's getting that card as a product of the team not playing well. So they're down a man right now, 14 against 15 for Hurt.
Well, we will have to see if Hurt can take advantage of the man situation, as they are up a man now. They could all start here with the line out. They will have a natural overload on either side they pick to attack. And that ball, a calamity, as it was just a free-for-all.
Yeah, it's a knock forward there by Austin Blacks. Be a scrum down for Hurt.
And scrum's not exactly the kindest things for Hurt today.
Yeah, and their starting prop has come out. He just got a card, so they will be down 7 men in the scrum. They're trying to figure out who they're going to sub back in for a front row.
Oh, those backs, they make fun of those front row players, but you only have so many that are clear to actually participate in that front row.
So it looks like they chose to pull Miles Hernandez out and bring a front row capable forward back into the fray. If there's a bright side, he gets a 10-minute break also. We'll see how it affects the Blacks scrum. They have no 8-man in there at this time, and they're still holding steady, though.
Not missing too much of that power, as it just came to a standstill on that scrum. Nice ball. Justin Boyd able to deflect it. And William Shaw frustrated, as he knew he had something to work with there and was unable to really come away with anything.
Yeah, but the ball at least goes back to Hurt there. It was a knock forward in the tackle from Justin Boyd.
But like you mentioned, even in the first half, it's just been a lack of continuous play for Hurt. They do make a couple of good things happen, and then just a little light when it comes to the rest.
So Austin Blacks have another sub in. Charles Davison. Chuck has made it to the field for Tane Jurcevic.
And look out for Davidson. He is a crafty player. And he already wants the ball. If he can get to it. Hurt. Able to utilize this. Clacking through and the ball coming out. And it's turned over right on the fly with a fake spin. That one really exciting the crowd here. And now it's just pure power runs by Austin Blacks.
Yeah, Dave Goss with a crash up there. It's Paul Dombrowski, the prop sub, just made it into the game. Dave Comfort with a crash. Ball comes out.
And this ball teetering, and it's kicked well. Nicely played, and the kick on the ground. Are we watching soccer? Are we watching rugby?
It's going to be the first knock on here by the Austin Blacks. Scrum down to Hurt.
And you had mentioned it earlier in this contest. Yesterday, the ball just bouncing the way of Hurt. And today, that's just not been the case.
Yeah, that was a nice little chip through. If it takes one more roll and goes up into his hands, he may go the distance, but it did not. So we'll come back for a scrum down. I do believe this is the first time Hurt has been in the Austin Blacks half this whole second half.
And Jonathan Shinak, not you could hear him when he was coming back. He's like, why did he blow the whistle? Why did YouTube channel?
That's a great counter ruck by the Blacks right there.
Yeah! Oh, come on!
And things getting a little chippy here toward the end. In this second half of play, scoreline is in favor of Austin Blacks, but Hurt not backing down. And you have to wonder, Drew, is that going to be enough motivation to help him get over the try line?
I believe they may have just gave an
The touch, but it ultimately does. And we'll have a line out for Hurt well beyond the midway line.
So the call there was taking the man off. It was a great counter ruck by the Blacks, but once he cleared the ruck, he just kept driving the guy back, and then he pinned him to the ground about 10 meters back. And once you clear past the ruck, you can't just keep playing the man. You got to stop. And I know it's hard. You're driving forward, and you're full of aggression, but
They have a great term for that in American football. They call that unnecessary roughness.
unnecessary. But in rugby, it gets you a man down, and in this case, they're down two men. So it's
Ooh. Well, you heard that.
That's a big hit by Paul Dombrowski coming off the bench. Brady Racine with a good cutback run, but
Overload here to the left, as you can see, is just Justin Boyd on the island.
And they're trying to put the shoulder back in right now of Paul Dombrowski, where he had that big hit. It looks like he possibly may have dislocated his shoulder, so they're trying to set it at this point in time right now. And if he has to go out, they're already down a prop who's in the sin bin. They had to bring a prop back on. I don't know what their scrums are going to look like for the next 8 minutes.
Well, Hurt smartly taking this opportunity to try to get some water, as are the Austin Blacks. Oh, and that is one tough guy. As you can hear, I think you pretty much nailed it. He's trying to get that shoulder back in, but after that, it looks like he's good to go.
I don't think. I think when it's out, sometimes it goes right back in. It just hurts a little bit in the strained muscles, but you're going to have to go get that possibly reset. He may have dislocated it.
And that's the thing about the shoulders. It's just like once you do it once, it's liable to do it again.
Yeah, so now the question is it uncontested scrums at this point in time, or do they have another sub-prop forward that they could bring back in for contested scrums? If I was Hurt, I want the contested scrum. You have a two-man advantage. You want to be able to drive forward as much as possible and get the ball out with a man overload in the back line.
That, and space-wise, to just make sure that numbers are used in that scrum. You know that you're going to at least use up about 7-8 guys there, so that should spread out the field and let you see those natural pockets that are going to be there, because you have that two-man advantage.
So Austin's made the choice. They have one man that's not playing 8-man, and they move their scrum half out to the back line. So now they literally have a two-man overload at the back of the pack.
And instead, they're going to elect to keep it close. This ball coming out,
Boy, the penalties are mounting for the Blacks at this point in time. If they get another card, it could be dangerous.
And Hurt trying to take advantage of this, looking for the first points of the second half. And they are close now, as they still continue to try to drive this ball in. Now trying to find the overload, and it's intercepted. Visser. Oh, and knock played. Ball going right back to Hurt.
And Visser just made the decision, I'm going to go up and try and steal this ball, and puts his hands on it. If he could get to his feet and keep running, I don't think anybody from Hurt was going to be able to catch him.
No, and you have to wonder how much of the field might have played a factor into that at this point also. A lot of loose dirt now after we've had a first half complete, as we're about midway through the second.
And I believe the first yellow card is back on the field. Hernandez, I believe they're back to 14 on 15 at this point in time.
So now only a one-man advantage for Hurt. Still a prime opportunity to try to get a score, but again, the start and stop and play has not allowed them to really build any momentum, as Hurt now is sending in one of their big boys, as Alvy Price, he's going to leave the pitch.
And he's been one of their good runners between himself and Blocker for most of the day. I guess they're going to move Brady Racine back to the 8-man spot, get the ball in his hand a little bit. They're still attacking, but they haven't gotten inside, the red zone yet, as you would define it in football.
And that could only be a testament to this Blacks defense. Even with a man down, they continue to hang tough. But this penalty, again, they keep on mounting up here.
Yeah, I think if anything, they might go for the kick here and put a line out in, and looks like they might tap and go for it.
No, it is tap and go. Ooh. Oh. And you could hear from all the way back here. That's just bone on bones. And it's knocked on.
Yeah, Racine knocked it forward. And that might be a penalty against Hurt there, number 19, taking a man out without the ball. I guess the ref didn't see it because he already called the knock on.
Well, it looks like we're going to come back and play that knock, and Brutica brute force there on the tackle, and it looks like we are back to full strength. It seems no, or maybe a possible substitution. And it is a substitution for Austin Blacks. So we'll get ready for this scrum. Again, 34-10 our score in favor of Austin.
Yeah, I would think Austin's going to want to just clear the ball out of here, take another 5 minutes after the clock, and get that 15th player back on the field for even numbers.
Yeah, who was in the sin bin originally, and he got back on, now back off. Substitution has been made for Austin Blacks. This scrum getting ready to be fed in.
Looks like Dave Cumberford is in the channel to just. Dennis Walker just chewing up yards. He takes a pick and go, a man down inside your 20-meter line, and takes it up to more than halfway.
Well, he's definitely the type of runner where it's going to take two people to bring him down, two or more. He can barely be stopped in a one-on-one situation, Ken Walker. So off of the 10, still remaining with Hurt, as they're able to crash through originally. Still trying to get here toward the near side as they continue just to kind of just tiptoe it around little by little as they continue trying to push.
They get the ball to deck and they're reset.
For Austin Blacks. We've been talking about that play all day, possibly seeing Walker to Boyd, and they still have that opportunity here, but they have not chose to try to exploit that.
Yeah, they tried to run it one time, but they fed it into the 9, and he cut back. But you're right, they have this opportunity again here with the spacing. Now they called a penalty for talking, so I guess somebody from Austin decided to say something to the referee that he didn't agree with, and when that happens, you're going to get a penalty. Quite unfortunate, because they had a great attacking platform.
A little too much jawing, not enough playing. I mean, this game is just moving so slow right now just because of the consistent starts and stops, and we'll have another alteration being made.
I just don't think either team has put any continuity together today like we seen yesterday. Yesterday there was a lot of pattern play from the Blacks and from Hart in their games. But today it's just been a lot of penalties, a lot of stoppages, a lot of knock-ons.
And this one coming right towards us and right over the media roof here for Nutmeg Sports Media, our fine producers who are bringing you the coverage here on the TRU Rugby channel this weekend. So we're live right near the game, pitch side. I mean, I couldn't ask for much more myself. You get to hear the sights and the sounds, and we almost become part of the action here.
Yeah, you know, we're close enough now. If they run out of the bounds, I'm going to be ducking out of the way. Good take by Hurt there.
It's a positive that they could try to build on here. Went with the dummy.
Run from the hooker, nonetheless, on the break to number 22.
People always underestimate the hookers.
That's going to be a penalty there. It's a great run by Juan Fernand, but he had no support with him.
And nobody's covering Justin Boyd right now. Instead, they're just going to kick for distance. And you can see Boyd, he was asking for, he's like, hey, nobody was on me. All you do is swing it out here. We're good to go.
And the person that was on him was a prop forward, so I think he might have a little advantage in open space.
Just a tad, just a tad. You can make a couple of quick moves. You have Franklin out there now, who would have to match up with Boyd here on the outside.
And look at this attacking lineup for the Blacks. They have Dennis Walker in the center position, and they have Dave Comfort, or no, that's Pat Sullivan back on the field from his car directly behind them. So they're going to run a dummy line with somebody. There it is. Going wide.
And Boyd now has it with the fin, able to get it right back. The up and under.
Chip kick forward.
Who is going to be able to get to it first? I'm not sure if he was able to touch it down. It looks like it went out of play.
I believe they're going to call that a chip forward, and it's going to go to a 22 dropout, I believe.
It looks like that would be the smart call here.
Great stiff arm from Justin Boyd there, and then a pass back inside. Not a bad idea for the chip kick. It just went awry. The wind probably caught it and carried it forward.
Yeah, this wind has been tricky to kind of pin down. It really has shifted over the place, and it's not a strong gust, but about 8 to 9 mile wind, enough to make a difference. And we talked about that kick. This is not going to get the clearance it's looking for. And on the restart, he was able to drop it and pick it right back up, so he was able to advance. Was Hernandez.
Pat Sullivan with a break coming back after his 10-minute rest. He should be fresh and ready to go. Not releasing. And now Hurt trying to come back very quickly here, trying to just rub it through, get some distance. And this will knock it all the way back where it had to be picked up by Farrell. And that's a straight-out kick from Austin Blacks, which is unfortunate because now they're going to go all the way back to where they kicked it from.
It looks like we'll have a couple of more alterations being made, at least for Hurt now. As we are here in the second half of play, 34-10. To all you fine folks that are checking us out here this afternoon, we are in Irving, Texas, actually. So just right in the middle of the Metroplex between Dallas and Fort Worth, right across the street from University of Dallas. It's where the Crusaders play their rugby here at home. And they are kind enough as, you know, we did have some change in venue as we were able to play bulk of games yesterday here and all the remaining championship games here today as well, breaking right through the line.
And Hurt retains possession. They offload to their crash runner. Looks like they're trying to set them all, but they do get the ball to ground. It's ready for Blocker to go to his back line.
Spinning it here wide. It's a good catch. And it's a man-to-man tackle. Trying to get some help.
Great counter ruck right there from the Blacks.
They're going to stay coming in from the side quickly on the restart. Hurt trying to get down the pitch, and they are knocking on the doorstep now.
They're within 10 meters right now. It's the closest they've been in this whole second half. There was a time to get points. It's right now they go to their big man, number 19, Ricardo.
Yeah, Brutica trying to Makes some moves there, but he's held up. This ball still hasn't come out yet. Now it presents itself. With a fake, trying to cut back inside, being dragged down by the jersey from behind, though. That will keep the try from being scored. They continue on. Does Hurt, though, quickly into the hands of Horn when he is met and taken to ground. And again, just trying to smash it through. Haven't found the success that they had yesterday with that tactic, though. Has Hurt. And was that knocked on? And it looks like we're going to get...
Yeah, we're going to come all the way back for the penalty. And they're within 5 meters, so the question is, are they going to tap and go, or will they go for the lineup? The last 2 lineouts they have, they look clean. If they could bring the ball down and possibly drive. But that, or do they set up the penalty play and just run a crash runner right now? Looks like they go the second choice.
And that's exactly what it's going to be. A little old school rugby, just mano y mano. Again, the ball just teetering around the trying area. And you can see, you hear the coaching staff just tell them, just take it back over, keep on going, keep pushing.
Yeah, they just want to keep the pressure on, but I think there might have been a knock on there.
It's kind of hard to see the referee from this distance now as the sunshine starting to make its, well, I want to say starting to make its appearance. It's been out all day, but it's definitely starting to rise a little higher. And we're definitely getting a glare from that angle.
We're probably about as far as you could possibly be from the action right now where we're sitting. And they've called a penalty for hands in the ruck is the call, hands in the ruck. So now Hurt will go back to their penalty play. They tap and go again.
Hurt trying to cash through, trying to cash in. Players thought they did, and they did. Well-earned try. Waiting the whole second half for that, and Hurt finally on the board for the first time in the second half. It is now 15-34. Austin Black still lead, though.
Didn't catch the number of that score right there. It was a good crash ball.
The best thing was the effort. It was well deserved. They continuously did not go away, and finally were able to get the result. So,
and I would think it would be close to full time at this point.
The referee's saying that, you know, he has to use this kick. He still has a minute. Kicker waiting for the team on this conversion. It's going to be William Shaw who's going to take this kick.
He will have the wind behind him, and it is pushing that way, so it actually might make it a little bit easier try, but he is on the far.
He doesn't have a whole lot of time to set up. He wasted some of it by getting that drink of water. So he'll take this quickly.
It's a good strike.
And it's good.
34-17.
Here in the second half of play.
Austin Black.
It's been all Austin here in the second half of play for the most part. That defensive stand not allowing anything until this very moment.
Hey, ma'am.
And we look to restart.
They're waiting on a ball to make it to the field.
Good kick.
Yeah, the referee, it's one of the better kicks of the day.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she placed it right where she wanted it. As we get ready for the restart in play, we haven't said this too much. Austin Blacks are going to take the drop here in the second half. Great kick.
Yeah, gonna call him offsides.
Offside again. So it seems the closer that the Austin Blacks have been to a championship, the more the discipline has waned here in the second half of them. And you hear the fans now just saying, if we can clean this up, we can get out of here now.
Yeah, it's not the way you want to end the game. You've been putting a clinic on for almost 60 minutes, and then everything's starting to just kind of not go their way. You know, if Hurt could get a quick score here, you never know. Things could change really fast in this game. scrums for Hurt have been looking so much better than early in the match.
But that's also because there have been some changes to that front pack for Austin Blacks as well. So
Yeah, they had the
McKellen, Dallas Reds. I see the women. Okay.
facilities.
It's a woman's. Okay. I call her Cat.
Was that her out there?
Yeah. Yeah. What's that? Oh yeah. This is my son. Brian. Right. Yeah. We were announcing you yesterday.
yeah, I was going to say there's a slight resemblance.
He has a dark beard. He's taller guy.
Yeah.
All right.
Larry, do you have a taste for something particular?
Whatever you guys get. It's all good. I was looking around. Okay. Those restrooms are right there. Great. And all right. And anything else?
Tell me what the score ended up.
34-17.
Yes.
For All Blacks?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. And then, are you going to get the girls on? Or whatever it is?
He has something. He had these, he said, but I don't know what you'll see necessarily. And I will work on getting stuff for the next game. Their second mixer went down, so we are having to go with the one mic setup.
Oh, okay. I got you. Okay. Well, you know what?
But if that's something that later on in the day, I mean, we can take turns. We don't necessarily have to be on at the same time. We can go